Okay, I'm also going to go ahead and demonstrate setting up the ParrotSec VM that you'll need for if you're going to do something with OpenVAS. You can install and configure OpenVAS in Kali and indeed really anywhere as long as the package is available. One of the virtues of this particular version of ParrotSec is that that work has already been done for us. Getting OpenVAS up and running can be kind of a chore all by itself. Now, um, uh, you should have this file here, the ParrotSec zip archive. Because the thing about this is it's not an ISO. We're not going to unpack the ISO and load it from scratch. All we're really going to do is we're going to open up that VM. So you need that file specifically, which is available. We have made it available to you, those of you who are taking this class at TSTC. So what I'm going to do, of course, unpack that. You don't want to try to do this from the zip file. You really need this one, the unpacked version. It'll be ParrotSec 6, and as you can see, it is a VMware virtual machine. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to drag this over here because I don't need it anymore. I'm not going to create a new virtual machine. Cancel. I am going to open a virtual machine that already exists. So I'm going to go, yeah. This is kind of the same. This is essentially the same thing we did setting up Metasploitable. It already exists. There's no reason to try to build it. Now, if you do want to go get the ParrotSec ISO and load it from scratch just to see what the difference is, that's a really good idea. And I might go do that myself here in just a minute. But for the moment, we have this. Let me see. Okay, it's admin password 1. Okay, that's good to know. And the same thing for OpenVAS. And okay, this is the sort of question you'll ask, you'll see sometimes if you move a VMware VM around, say from one hard drive to another, it's going to want to know. For all intents and purposes, I copied this. And okay, so yeah, it's going to look for a file. Notice, interestingly enough, it's looking for a file. I may have to go provide that file. So let's look at this in console mode for just a minute. Oh yeah. So yeah, I'm going to go have to get this because that's obviously, that's not my hard drive. So okay, so let me go get ParrotSec. And I need, no. Cancel. You know what? I'm going to edit this in virtual machine settings. That might be an easier way to do this. No. So I want the ParrotSec 4.6 AMD 64 ISO. So let's go get that. What I'm going to do, I'm going to start a distro at DistroWatch. So www.distrowatch.com. DistroWatch, as I've mentioned in other videos, that DistroWatch is a really good place to go looking for new and interesting Linux distros, and to see the latest and greatest on what's going on in the world of Linux distros. Say, for example, so let's see, Deepin has got something up, a new Pop! OS, Gobo Linux, a flavor of Arch, various versions of, there are lots and lots of Linux distros. Let's look at this. The page rankings over the last 6 months for these distros. Let's see, I have 100 of them. React, AV, Tails. We talked about Tails the other day. Ubuntu. So I'm going to find Parrot. Parrot. Okay, so it is ranked about 40. We've got a screenshot here. It used to be called Parrot Security OS. The names change from time to time. So if someone calls something that you know by one name, by another name, do not let that throw you. ParrotSec, Parrot, Fedora, Fedora Security, NST, Network Security Toolkit. Just be flexible. So we'll go to parrotlinux.org. Boom. Let me move myself again. And okay. Oh, the Parrot project. I'm going to go to downloads. And I want security mate. Notice there's also an ISO. Oh, I want ISOs. There's a security OVA. There's a mate version. There's a KDE version. Let's see. I think. Actually, let me look at this. Let me look at this for just a second. Okay. Let me. What I'm trying to figure out is what version, what desktop this is. Okay. This actually looks like. You know what? Let's start this up. Sometimes if you just start the terminal, it'll tell you what version you need. No, not that. Oh, okay. I thought I was going for a terminal. Never mind. It's a lot like, oh, that's what I need, command line. So this is mate. And that's very interesting. So obviously I want the mate ISO. 4.8. Interestingly enough, I may actually have to go find a 4.6 ISO because this is old. Because I really do kind of want to use the same ISO that it's using. .5. Interestingly enough, doesn't go any farther up than 4.5. So that's not what I need. Oh, let's go browse the archive. Yeah, that'll work. 4.6. That's what I need. No, I do not want the torrents. Absolutely do not want your torrent. So let's look at that ISO again. What's that configured to do? Yeah, sure, why not? Okay. ParrotSec 46, yes, good. Okay, so I'm on the right track. I just have to find it. And notice that it is trying to download it. Um, I'm glad it told me this. This is good to know. Basically, it handed the Xterm Parrot upgrade program off, handed control off when when I approved the upgrade. So I'll close that. See what Parrot's doing. Okay, and there's nothing. Um, there's a program here, looks like. I could start OpenVAS. Hold on just a minute. I'm going to go find that ISO. Okay, so I seem to have found it. On an FTP site off of what looks like a Belgian ISP. But this looks relatively legit. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab it because while I could probably get away with pointing this ParrotSec 4.6 at the 4.8 ISO, I really don't want to mix and match like this. I would rather provide it the thing that it expected to see. Now, if I upgrade this from 4.6 to 4.8 along the way, fine. But for the moment, I just want it to be what it ought to be. So let's go check on it, because when we left it, it was upgrading itself. And it looks like it's going to keep doing that for a while. So I'm going to pause this here, and we'll keep going.